Good morning, students. In my subject software defined radio, today we are going to discuss about the architecture of SDR. This is the architecture of SDR. In this we can see that the first there is a flexible RF hardware. This is also called as the RF front end, where the received signal will be first amplified and then it will be filtered and then it will be passed to the further processing blocks. Or otherwise in the if we talk about the transmitter side, the signal before giving to the antenna, it will be amplified and then given to the antenna. After the RF front end, then we have analog to digital converter and a digital to analog converter. In the receiver side, the signal will be converted from, as the received signal is an analog signal, it will be converted into a digital one. And at the transmitter side, before giving it to the RF front end, the signal will be first converted from digital to analog and then given to the RF front end at the transmitter side. And after that, we have a channelization and sample rate conversion. So this block helps in converting in deciding the sampling rate for the signal to be converted into the digital one, and also it selects the signal bandwidth through which channel the signal will be transmitted. And then there is the signal processing block, which contains both hardware and also the software parts. So here these are the different software algorithms used to perform the signal processing. So like middleware, Cobra and virtual radio machines. And the different hardwares here which are used are FPGAs, DSPs and ASICs. So based upon the application where the software defined radio is used, so this type of either which hardware or the software must be chosen will be selected. And coming to the next one, here we need to see in the RF front end what are the different components present and how those components are affecting the overall performance of our SDR architecture. So initially we talk about the antenna, which is the first first component of our RF front end where the signal is received. So here when the signal is received by the antenna, what type of antenna, as there are different types of antennas here like monopole antenna, monopole, dipole, rectangular patch, etc. There are many different types of antennas, but here in the software defined radio, this monopole antenna is mainly opted for the SDR architecture, because here this monopole antenna, first thing is its resonating length is the quarter of the wavelength of the signal received. And here which type of monopole antenna we are going to use is a rubber ducky antenna. It is rubber ducky monopole antenna. So the structure is shown here. This rubber ducky antenna, it has a inductor which is like a just coil like thing, and here the resonating length of this rubber ducky antenna is shorter than the quarter wavelength of the received signal. And also the main advantages of this monopole antenna for which it is used here is it allows a broad range of signals to be transmitted and received. That means it allows a broad range of bandwidth of the signal. So that is the main advantage. And also the form factor of this monopole antenna is high, but with a trade-off with efficiency and gain. So the form factor is high, and also with a trade-off with decreased efficiency and gain. So this is about the antenna. So coming to the next part, it is a duplexer and diplexer. So the next one is a duplexer or diplexer. After the antenna, the next component present in the RF front end is a duplexer or a diplexer. So what is the main purpose of a duplexer here is a duplexer, it separates the signals, transmitter and receiving signals by allowing different paths for them. And a diplexer, it separates the signals based upon the signal frequency. So this is the main difference between duplexer and a diplexer. So coming here, example block diagrams are given for a diplexer and a duplexer. So this is a diplexer. Since the diplexer separates the signals based upon the signal frequencies, here it uses two types of filters for transmitter side and the receiver side. So they use low pass and high pass filters with respect to the diplexer. And coming to the duplexer, they provide separate paths for two signals, that is the transmitted signals and the received signals. So two different links, that is the uplink and downlink will be present here at the transmitter and receiver, and there is a circulator here which acts as a switch for the antenna to switch between the uplink and the downlink when the signal either is received or transmitted. So this is about the duplexer and diplexer. And one more thing is here, these duplexers when used, they act as the first stage of filtering for the received signal. So after this duplexer and diplexer, the next one is we have different filters and amplifiers. One main thing we need to consider when we are talking about the filters and amplifiers is they have one thing, that is noise introduction and signal attenuation. They introduce noise and also the signal bandwidth may be attenuated. So to overcome the filters and the amplifiers must be designed in such a way that a less noise is introduced into the signal, and also the bandwidth of the signal, the total bandwidth of the signal must be passed through the amplifier or the filter, or the signal bandwidth must not be attenuated. So this is the main factor. These are the two main factors that must be considered while designing our filters and amplifiers. So coming to the first RF filter, after the duplexer we have this RF filter. So this is the second stage of filtering of our received signal if we are considering at the receiver side. So this is the second stage of filter, so it improves the sensitivity of our receiver. And also the next one is the low noise amplifier. So this low noise amplifier, what it does is it improves the power level of the received signal, because the received signal the power may be very weak. So it improves the power level of the signal such that it can be adaptable by the next blocks in the RF front end. So and then the next one is image rejected IF filter. So this is a IF filter, is it passes only the intermediate frequencies that are present for the that are fixed frequencies, and image reject filters means they avoid the image frequencies that will be occurring at the output of the mixer. So all these will improve the sensitivity of the receiver, and also the power. If we are talking about amplifier, they will increase the signal strength. But the main thing is, if we are adding the subsequent stages of amplification and filters into the receiver RF front end, then what happens is they will affect the they will introduce signal noise, and also sometimes they may attenuate the signal bandwidth. So this is the main problem, and also they increase the circuit complexity, power consumption, all these factors may be increased. So this is about the amplifiers and filters. So that's all for today's class, and in the next class we will be discussing about automatic gain control and the remaining RF front end components.